Hi again from Spotty Cat, and we just come out of Good Coffee, which is our favourite coffee shop and sandwiches and little snacks in the dock, in the high street of the dock. But really what I wanted to show you, Ruse, is that if you weren't aware, the Millennium Falcon was built in Pembroke Dock, and there's a little shop here with this sort of almost what can I say, memorial to it. I don't think that's the right thing, but they got a huge Millennium Falcon in the window, and I'm just waiting for the day when I actually do find a Millennium Falcon that size at a charity shop. Anyway, we're going to get on with our bits and pieces now. Well, that was the Millennium Falcon shop in Pembroke Dock, and the Millennium Falcon out of Star Wars really was built in Pembroke Dock, you know, the big thing they used in the film. And anyway, now this is a hi from Spotty Cat again, and it's hello from me, and it's hello from
me,
Sue, and it's hello from the man cutting the grass outside.
Tim.
Yeah, that's what we need, and that's Tim. Anyway, I thought that I'd start sort of low down and try and work our way up, if that's going to be possible. And the first thing I'd show is just another classic bit of motto ware, make yourself at home. There was actually a pair of these, but the other one was chipped, and these are a bit older again than I think. They're absolutely unmarked. They're almost definitely Watcom, and I think these, and they would have been hung up on a dresser hook or something like that. And it's a little jam pot, isn't it? Do you think so?
Yes.
I think it's for jam, yeah. And I think that's somewhere between 1900 and 1920. Anyway, make yourself at home, assume yourself, so they've actually, this is when they could still spell properly, isn't it? So anyway, so we're going to work our way up slowly. So the next thing I've got here is my absolute classics, which is 3 Hot Wheels and another. Again, they're just nice, and dear me, I should have gone through these for the dates rather than like turn them upside down. But this is a made in Malaysia. This one here is a made in Thailand and looks just that slightly bit older. And this one is also made somewhere. I don't think they're ancient, but just look. Look, it's got a whole little engine inside. I love the profile wheels, whatever they call that, the motor people do. I just think, as I always say, I just think they are works of art. I think they're absolutely beautiful. But also, to go with those, I found a really nice looking Mini, which is here. It says Mini 1 on the back, doesn't it? And the only big sadness about it is the front bumper's a bit gone. But if you wanted to, that's not a hard repair, especially these days with 3D printing. It's a made in Great Britain corgi. That probably means it was made in our glorious Wales, because that's where corgis were made, in Swansea, and that's an absolute classic shape. Such a shame about the bumper, but otherwise he's lovely. Anyway, as I say, we're going to work our way up. And the next thing I'd sort of see, which I think Sue picked out, is a really, really nice dressing table mirror. And these are from dressing table sets. This has got a slight surface scratch on, but when you're actually looking at yourself, you can't really see. It isn't stamped ebony, but I'm absolutely certain it is ebony.
Yes. And
a really nice size, and I absolutely love that. I'll tell you, if anything that we've got here is over a £5, I think nearly everything on this table was under £3, I think. And I think this was like £8 or £1.50, something like that. It's a really nice mirror. I've always been a bit, not because I can see myself in them, but I've always been a bit, I won't say obsessed, but interested in hand mirrors. Then the next thing, which is completely a bit bizarre and off the scale, is this, which I don't know if you can catch that well, or if you've got reflections. And Anyways, Lake Geneva in Wisconsin, which I've never heard of. I've heard of Lake Geneva, but not the one in Wisconsin. And this is overlaid with gold. And it's got a trademark brand here. I think it's Culver is the maker of. But all of this decoration is 22 karat gold by Culver, made in the USA. And someone must have bought that home as a tourist piece. And I think this, I mean, it's a joke really, and I'm not going to scrape it off, but that's 22 karat gold. I wonder if there's a tenth of a gram on there. Tenth of a gram of 22 karat would be about 30 quid. I don't think they'll be able to make these anymore. Now the price of gold is what it is. I have no idea how old it is. I suggest 1960s, maybe 80s, something like that. And but anyway, very, very interesting. And now the next thing is, I think I'll just do this very quickly. Okay. This was from, and also some of this stuff was from Llandudno charity shops, and some of it was from Pembroke High Street and Pembroke Dock High Street. This was from Sartori, who were charitable organisation sort of in Pembrokeshire, especially Tenby and Pembroke wise. Anyway, this is a handmade ash stall. I mean, obviously it's it's virtually brand new, but it's solid ash. It's absolutely delightful and handmade. I love the way they punch the legs through and then put the tightly sort of little split bits in to go in their little wedges. And do you know that was the princely sum of £3? I mean, woo woo. I'm going to do this next, yeah. And I sort of noticed this, but I sort of bought it because apparently it was big in Sue's youth. Yeah.
They found it.
Yeah. They used to sit around the one candle in the living room trying to keep warm, playing the merry game of floundering. And because Sue is one of 27 children. I mean, she's in the she's in the Guinness Book of Records, the largest family in Neath that ever was. And of course, every word I say is absolutely true. Anyway, the most delightful thing is, so we got it all out, and I should have got it out, so we could do it. Anyway, we got it all out because you basically have, bits. And you got bits anyway, and they've all got dice numbers on, and it's a dice game. But anyway, we did get all of these bits out, and they're all there, including this one, which is like this, another one like that, which has been sellotaped up. As soon as I saw the one that had been sellotaped up, I just knew they were all going to be in there. But what a survivor. This, I think, 60s. It's got, it hasn't got a barcode anywhere. And the box is a little bit so. But I think we'll just leave this down by the coast and see if we can play it every now and then. Made by J.W. Spears and Sons Limited, Enfield, Middlesex, England. As I say, I won't say my normal things about stuff made in England, but we used to make so much stuff. The next thing I'm going to do is, I can't decide what was my favourite out of all of this, but this might be. And this is, obviously, it's a wicker owl. But there's some really intriguing things about it. Number one, the standard of the work. If you actually look on the top of it, at the amount of work that's gone into that, it's insane. And it's nice because you can move his head round, Gov. Oh, it's animated. You look at the inside, and I'll try and get that so Sue can see. The work is just insane. And exactly the same with the main part of it. The work in there, if the light will come into it, probably that way a bit more, it is absolutely insane. It is so fine. But the most intriguing thing for me is the label on the bottom, because it's it's Anui Handicrafts, etc., etc. but it is made in China, which you might think, yeah, but loads of stuff got made in China now. And then underneath, fabrique en Chine, which obviously is French, or Chine, is it? Chine was really a Chine. Fabrique en Chine. Let me pretend I can speak French, please. Anyway, the label is really confusing. And number one, because made in China, I struggle to think this was actually made before the Second World War, but that's sort of my conclusion, really, because they talked about China before the Second World War and the Long March and Mao, but after that the stuff was Republican China until we get to modern times. But the label on the bottom of this is not modern in the slightest. It's really unusual, and so I think there is a chance that this could be 80-year-old or something. I don't know, but the work in it is just, dear me, and I think this was £1. I cannot remember, but that's one of, at the very least, that's one of my most fave things out of our blag that we got. And I'll show you this. This is an unusual thing. I can't remember the name for this work, but basically, both the Japanese and the Russians, and I have a feeling that this is actually Russian, they did this sort of inlay work into a black body. And this on here will be silver. I have one other piece of this in my collection of bric-a-brac, and that's actually got real gold as well as the silver on it. God, I cannot remember what the name for that sort of work is. And as beautiful as object it is, who really needs a ewer that you can't really do anything with? I don't know if you could even put a flower inside there. But anyway, it's beautiful work. It's got underneath here, which we did have a look for, it has actually got numbers and things, but we couldn't see any sense to be made out of it in terms of a date or where it was made. But they're not Cyrillic, so maybe it's Japanese, maybe. But it's beautiful, the work involved. It really is nice. Anyway, he's going to go against that. He's probably looking into the bright, and so he's probably a bit dark. Now, what haven't we done? Oh, we haven't done the jam pot. Oh, yeah. So this is English. Doesn't say anything on the bottom. I don't know if this is Brently, or maybe even Myatt, but I think for the standard of the glaze, which is relatively soft, I think is Brently. And nice and chrome, of course, is always on message. It's got its original spoon to go with it, which says Celtic plate on the back. And so then you start thinking, I wonder if it's Scottish. But in actual fact, just down here, it also says Celtic plate made in England. But that is screaming 1960s, isn't it? I love the little plastic knop on it as well. But that's screaming 60s, do you think?
A bit earlier than that.
Do you think? Yeah, maybe.
Well,
and anyway, I absolutely love that. And again, all of these things were so cheap.
You don't think that's 40s?
No, I don't. It's the glaze on the pottery that makes. And before I get into those two, this is something we bought again, rather like the merry game of floundering. In actual fact, we're never going to play this. We're just going to leave it hanging around on a table so people think we're really, really Brady. But again, £2.50, but it will be over 100 mind-bending games. So it will be on those holiday nights or whatever. It'll be great fun. But anyway, we opened it up and just crazy. I don't think this has ever been opened. Obviously, these have never been popped out. That looks good. And all the cards are still all in their packets. So, how smells, it is brand new for £2.50. I don't suppose, I was going to say, the image is David Vance, whoever he might be, and $16.99, and I don't know what date it was again. Manufactured in China, of course. Anyway, as I say, we just bought that to make us appear intelligent. We're just going to leave it hanging around all the places that we go and say that we've done all the puzzles. Anyway, the last two things I've got here are very interesting. These were from the Animal Rescue Protection in Llandovery, and these are they imari or satsuma? These are satsuma, aren't they? I think, and these are Japanese, and they did tend to. I always thought like absolutely bulk produce these probably in the 1920s. I have a tiny feeling that these are slightly older than that. Has a lot to do with the state of the back. I'll take one of these.
Okay.
See if I
Watch
can
your
do
eyes when you do
Yeah, I will. Yeah. I know. They always say they're no good for them, but they haven't managed to damage these, thank heavens. But if you look at the actual back on there, you know, the depth of the ring, the lovely things around here, and the undermarks on here, I wouldn't be surprised if these were 20 or 30 years older than the 1920s. And the back of this one's the same. They're all absolutely hand decorated, and I think these were they £7 for the pair?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, and obviously the front of them is all hand painted, hand decorated, and every single one is always slightly different. Japanese, as I say, you know, probably 120 years old or maybe a little bit less, and just crazy. You know, you have really delightful Oriental hard paste porcelain, and oh, he's still got his bits on. Anyway, before I drift off and the rest of that, I guess that's that for this part of this. We've got some more to show from in the next one from the same little trip. But basically, it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from
me,
Sue, and it's also, as we always say, by proxy, it's goodbye from Pussy Cat. But she really does live the life of luxury when we're not at home. She really does get spoiled. And so thank you ever so much for washing. Thank you ever so much for watching and for washing.
Yes.
And I hope we catch you again in the next one. Ta-da, folks.